This video was way too much fun to research for. Some of the low-rated reviews are really funny. Sometimes unintentionally, but really funny. Hello everyone, I'm here today to share with you guys a new 5 first impression, but this time what I'm going to be doing is testing out products that have really mean low-rated reviews and seeing if they actually live up to those low ratings. And like I said, there's some pretty entertaining ones. So I wanted to actually give all of these products a fair chance, see what they look like, see how they wear throughout the day, and if they're actually as bad as these people say they are. If you want to see more of these type of videos, click the little thumbs up button so I know, and don't forget to subscribe because I do new videos here every Tuesday, Thursday, and also on Sundays. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and without further ado, let's get into this. So the first product I'm going to test out is by Natasha Denona. This is the Mini Sunset Palette. It has about 3 stars on Sephora's website. And there are a lot of negative reviews here. My favorite one is that you're paying for the name here. Imagine buying a dollar store tiny palette and writing Natasha Denona on it. Oh. And other people are saying like it is mediocre at best. It in no way holds a candle to her other more successful palettes. And they have Wet n Wild palettes that feel creamier and look as good as this. And also Wet n Wild is like 1/3 of the price. One person even claimed it is the worst palette that they've ever tried, but basically everyone's saying it's chalky, it's not pigmented, and is not at all like any of the other Natasha Denona eyeshadows. So this is what the palette looks like. It is a little miniature version of her larger Sunset palette, which is really, really popular. It's pigmented, but it is pretty patchy. And then let's see what happens when I apply a little bit of this matte shade to the crease. All right, so far so good. It is pigmented. It seems to be blending onto the skin well. All right, I wonder what happens when I add some of this like metallic-y shade here. And I'm not going to wet the brush yet. I'm going to try it without. Okay, I'm going to try it with some Fix Plus because that was useless. Nope, that is, wow, that's patchy. Oh no. Oh, this is awful. Like, it's not that it's unpigmented, it's just really patchy. It's not easy to blend. The color is there though. I mean, not that that really helps anything because I don't want to buy a pigmented eyeshadow that I can't blend out. Doesn't matter how many times I go over this, it's just stay the same. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so irritated. This is 100% not worth it. So now we're gonna go on to an eyeliner, and this is a drugstore one. This is by Essence. This is their long-lasting eyeliner pen, and somebody left a comment. I just wasn't expecting to see it, and I almost spit out my coffee. I hate this with the passion of 1,000 burning suns. I never take the time to write reviews, but oh my gosh, awful, just awful. It drags along the skin, it pulls at your eyelids, it's streaky, inconsistently opaque, rubs off way too easy, and above all, it's just not pigmented or smooth enough to even use. What a waste of money. Wow. I really like the part about the 1,000 burning suns though. That's hilarious. Seems fine to me so far. Let's apply it to the eyes. Maybe it'll cover up the fact that my eyeshadow's so streaky. Okay, I don't know why this person's so mad. This really isn't that bad at all. It's going on nice and opaque. It's nice and smooth. I don't know, man. I think it's maybe just the Ulta store you bought this at. Maybe they just got a really old one. Like, it's still going and I still see pigmentation on the actual liner, and I'm on like the second eye. So I really don't think this is that bad of a product. I think it's nice and cheap. I think this person just got a bad one. Next, we're gonna go on to mascara. This is a drugstore mascara, and I swear I've tested this out before, but I can't find it anywhere in any of my drawers, so apparently not. And it's the Almay Liquid Lash Extenders Mascara, and it's supposed to have these tubes and fibers in it that like extend the length of your mascara. I swear I've tried this before. Well, this one person left a review that said, you know those pictures of the girls wearing unique mascara and it looks like spiders died on their eyes? Well, this looks just like that. It flakes off into my contacts too. It's just the worst. Almay is the worst. How is Almay still in business? I feel like the people who have written all these reviews should team up and write a blog because these are hilarious. Okay, so far it's looking like a very average, slightly on the dry side mascara. You know what? Actually, this is worse than an average mascara. I feel like I'm not getting a lot of product on my eyelashes. So far, it definitely doesn't look like spiders died there though. Let's try 2 coats for the dead bug look. Like, is it just me or is it building up a lot of volume at the base and like taking away volume from the ends of my lashes? All right, that's 2 coats. Let's see what happens with 3. You have to work really fast with this mascara because it dries down and does not layer well. Okay, I'm really trying here, guys. This is not impressing me. Honestly, I'm just not wowed. It looks very average. I didn't see any sort of lengthening from the fibers in the mascara. I didn't even actually see any fibers in the mascara. Usually it's pretty obvious, so I'm looking forward to have this flake off into my contacts. Okay, now we're gonna go on to foundation, and I have been waiting to test this one out. Mostly because I'm really curious because everyone seems to hate it. Like, it cannot be that bad though. right? And it is the Marc Jacobs Shameless Youthful Look Longwear Foundation. And this is supposed to be a self-setting foundation. It is going to go on your skin. You do not need to set it with powder, and it's just going to look beautiful for like 24 hours. Is that what they said? Did I just make that? I just made that up. And it was not difficult to find reviews that were negative and mean. One that I really found amusing was when they said Marc Jacobs fell off. You don't tell Marc Jacobs he fell off. You don't tell Dre he fell off. They said the coverage was uneven and patchy. It's very heavy and feels like you're wearing a mask, and it basically makes it look like somebody took a giant on your face. It's okay, you don't need to beep it. I didn't actually say anything.
Giant on your face.
There are very specific instructions, like you have to dot it all over the skin, apply a very, very thin layer, and then just add coverage where you need it using a pat pull method. Whatever that means. And apparently you're only supposed to use their brush, which I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I don't have time for your $50 foundation and also your $50 brush. Sorry. So I figured we kind of experiment a little bit in applying this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply primer to half of my face only, see if that makes any sort of a difference. And then I'm going to use 2 different brushes. I don't know if it's gonna make any sort of a difference, but this is kind of the shape that their brush is. But I figure I can do like the whole like pulling method thing. Like I assume that this is pulling, right? And we can just kind of see if one is better than the other. I don't know. So far, crushing it. Doing such a good job. So we're going to do the pat and pull method. It is blending onto the skin. All right. Oh, so far so good. I'm going to add a little bit more coverage right here where I have a bit of like veininess, just to see if it's buildable. Oh wait, use the other brush. Okay, it's definitely very medium coverage. You will never get any full coverage out of this. I'm curious about the whole patchiness though. Like I'm not noticing that thus far or any patchiness. I don't know, it looks pretty good to me so far, which I'm honestly, of everything, I'm probably the most shocked by this because everyone seems to hate it. So fortunately, I don't even need to set this, which is pretty good. I wonder, can I apply it under my eyes? Has anyone tried that yet? It doesn't say that it's a concealer, but it also doesn't say that it's not a concealer. It'd be pretty great if I didn't have to apply powder under there. Kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a foundation that you don't need to powder if you have to powder your under eyes, you know? It definitely seems to be brightening up the area, but it's not getting rid of my dark under eye circles as much as I would like. Honestly, it's really not that bad. My pores seem to be minimized. It still looks like my skin. I don't see any streakiness. We'll see how this wears throughout the day because that might be the changing factor, but so far so good. And now that we have some bronzer and blush on, by the way, it did apply quite nicely. I just used this brush from Wet n Wild. This is P60 and I just kind of dusted it on and it didn't seem to move the product at all. But now we're gonna go on to highlight, and this is a highlight from Sephora, not by Sephora, but in Sephora. It is the Too Faced Rainbow Strobe Rainbow Effect Highlighter. And there were several reviews that were 1-starred, but one in particular was titled, "What Happened?" And this person said, "I tried to swatch this on my arm, I used the rainbow brush, and even though I'm very fair, there was not 1 iota of color visible. I asked the store clerk if I had made a mistake, and she said that you had to go hard onto the surface of the product. Well, people, that surface is so hard milled, I could have rollerbladed on it. A carving knife might work to get some pigment. Burn." Let us take this apart, and it already looks like maybe it's broken. That is exciting. Oh my gosh, entirely broken. Wow. Well, there we go. There's our answer. I'm gonna get a great rainbow effect from that. Okay, that's pretty. If you want like a nice, like a nice non-rainbow highlight. Maybe this is the trick, people. It's like when you have to scrape off the outer shell of the e.l.f. highlight. Maybe you just have to crumble up your rainbow highlight and then you get a really pretty non-rainbow highlight. Unless you're looking for a rainbow highlight, in which case this isn't gonna help you. But that's really reflective, very pretty. I love the undertone. Oh, now I'm torn. I was just gonna throw this in the trash, but maybe I'll press it. I mean, to be honest, this whole look kind of surprised me. Some of the products were good, some of the products were bad, some of them were broken. Take that, mean reviewers. You are funny, but not always accurate. Or maybe you are. See you in a couple of hours. Okay guys, I am back. It is the end of the day. This is like literal end of the day. It is midnight here, people. But in terms of how my makeup held up all day, first I'll start with the highlight, which is entirely glitter. And so I will never use that again. And the eyeshadow you can see here, it's starting to peel off in areas. It's getting very patchy. And like this is I used a primer that I would normally use. So I don't know what's going on with these particular eyeshadows, but this is not holding up well. And then the mascara, you can see it underneath my eyes. You can see little specks of the like fibers like underneath right here. And then the foundation has like, I don't know, it's mostly, I think, worn off in areas and stuff, but like, it held up fairly well today. It was a good medium coverage, so it wasn't super obvious when I was like wearing off in chunks versus like a full coverage foundation would. Like, that would be super noticeable. And so like, honestly, I'm not opposed to trying this one again, which is surprising. Like, I really was thinking this was going to be terrible based on all the reviews. Leave a comment down below if you want to see more of these type of videos, or maybe I'll do like, I don't know, a specific, like a drugstore one. If you come across any, can you send them to me on Twitter? Because I think they're hilarious. And check out over here, my highlight edit that I did, where I talked about my best and worst highlights, the ones that I threw in the garbage, the ones that I donated. I talk about how many I donated versus how many I kept, and we went through it like a lightning round. It was super, super fun. But now I'm gonna go to bed because I'm exhausted. But I hope you guys are doing really well, having a good weekend. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And yeah, that's everything. I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend, and I'll see you guys all on Tuesday. Love you, girls. Mwah!